name is Beth Williams. I'm a yoga teacher and I'm a personal trainer. And today's class is a gentle and restorative yoga class. So it'll be a combo of the both. And the focus is on lymphatic yoga. So let me explain what that means. So using the breath, specifically diaphragmatic breathing and movements and some yoga poses to help to encourage the flow of your lymph, which is part of the lymphatic system. You've probably heard about that before. To move from your extremities and back to your heart. So the easiest way for me to explain what the lymphatic system is to have you think about a fish tank, if you will. So it's like your body's internal fish tank. And if you've ever had a fish tank before and you let the fish tank get dirty and it's not filtering, all the ickies that are in the fish tank, the toxins and things like that, then it starts to get really cloudy and mucky. And so our body is a lot like that. Our body is made of about 2/3 of water, and our lymphatic system can be much like that dirty fish tank if we don't take good care of it. So one of the factors that can cause your lymphatic system to become mucky or dirty or kind of like a dam that's not, that's kind of backed up and not filtering through, can be stress, believe it or not. So when your body is in a state of fight or flight for whatever reason, maybe it's trauma, maybe you're just too busy all the time, you never have a chance to relax, and you let your autonomic nervous system come back down to a state of homeostasis. It could be that, it could be your diet, it could be lack of movement. So disease, for whatever reason, when your lymphatic system gets backed up, you might see some signs. The most obvious signs would be swelling in your feet or swelling in your ankles, or maybe some puffiness in your hands or your arms. Some people don't have those symptoms. It could be that you have headaches. It could be that your immune system isn't functioning as well as it could. You could have stomach pains. There could be a lot of symptoms. So I'm not an expert, but I know just enough about it to get you interested, and you can do your own research on it. There's a plethora of knowledge out there about it. So, but I do know that when we get our diaphragm to move the way it's supposed to, that is one of the key factors in getting your lymphatic system, your fish tank, to filter out and to clean, so that the water that's inside of your body is clear and clean and flowing. So when we're stressed out, when we have disease, when we have anxiety, our diaphragm can get stuck in the inhalation mode. And I talked about this on another video in more detail, but when you breathe, your diaphragm, which is like a mushroom-shaped, a dome-shaped muscle that divides your heart and your lungs from your abdominal organs, when you breathe in, the diaphragm moves down and it pushes on the abdominal organs. The belly extends out. When you breathe out, ideally, if your diaphragm's functioning the way it's supposed to, it relaxes back up as the lungs deflate and the belly will draw in. But if it's not functioning properly, like I said, it can get stuck in that inhalation mode and it doesn't move as well as it's supposed to. So getting you to breathe diaphragmatically can really help with your lymphatic system and getting that excess fluid to start to pump along with the circulatory system from your extremities back in towards your heart, and then to be processed and pushed out of the body through sweat and urine. Another way that we can effectively work with the lymphatic system is through movement and circulation, circulatory motions, making circles with your wrists, your ankles is one way to start to move that lymph from the extremities back to the heart, and also flexion and extension. So all of our little lymph nodes like to be in warm places, like the pits of the arms, the pits of the groins. They like to be around the ears. So as an example, there's a bunch along the spine, around the neck. And so when we move those areas through flexion and extension, then that helps to pump the lymph back to the heart, as I mentioned. Okay. One other thing that we'll be doing in this practice that will help to assist the functioning of the lymphatic system is doing inversions. An inversion is a yoga pose where your head is below the height of your heart space. So we will be doing several of those as well. So it's a nice combination, this class, of gentle, restorative poses with some movements that are not yoga poses, but more really just warming up and moving the body. So I hope you like this practice. I hope it's one that you feel like you can come back to again and again. And what a lot of people report after they have done this practice is that they feel much like they would if they just had a massage. So I hope that that's the case for you as well. So let's join our hands together at the heart center so that we can set the tone for this practice. Close your eyes. So we're going to look at this practice today much like our spring cleaning out our garage, cleaning out the kitchen, the closets, to create a clean and peaceful atmosphere, letting go of what we don't need anymore, just finding that fine balance between letting go and holding on, so that our mind and our body feels pristine and crystal clear. And just breathing into that intention for this practice today. Give it some life. Breathing out, bow your head in towards your hands and towards your heart center. And then releasing the hands down. Allow your eyes to come to an open. So we're going to start off on our back with some diaphragmatic breathing and also some grounding. So I'm going to use a blanket underneath my head here, so I encourage you to as well. Folded blanket under the head. And lie down on your back with your knees bent and your feet on the floor in a constructive rest pose. You can rest your hands on your belly if you like, or you can let your arms be out to the sides. Close your eyes. And we'll begin by allowing the body to settle into its foundational points. So you can scan with your mind's eye with me as I name off the foundational points. It's really helpful to notice which parts of your body that are in contact with the floor, to name them, to feel them, to help you to really cultivate a state of mindfulness and awareness. Noticing the feet and how the feet make contact with the yoga mat, feeling the texture and the temperature of the mat beneath the feet. Noticing the weight of the pelvis, the back of the pelvis. You might even feel the skin touching the clothing at the back of the pelvis. settling into the mat, into the earth. Notice which parts of your back makes contact with the yoga mat. Notice which part of your back feels most heavy into the mat. More weighted, less weighted. Just notice. Notice the backs of the arms and the hands as they make contact with the floor or maybe your belly. Your hands are on the belly. Notice the back of the head as it makes contact with the blanket or the floor. And as you become really familiar with those foundational points of your body, you begin to feel that those points can relax down and spread out like liquid, spreading out like warm liquid into the floor, into the mat. Good. And then bring your awareness to your jaw, at the hinge of the jaw, closest to your ears, and begin to notice if the hinge of your jaw feels tight, tense, maybe stinging, maybe vibration. And let that tension start to dissolve around the hinge of the jaw. You can imagine that the hinge of the jaw is dissolving like sugar, like sugar on your tongue. And feeling that as the jaw relaxes, the teeth can separate, the upper teeth separating, the lower teeth separating away from each other. And that the inside of the mouth can become spacious. Imagining spaciousness in the inside of the mouth, around the teeth and the gums, around the tongue, the palate. Good, and now we'll begin to focus on breathing. So diaphragmatic breathing as you breathe in through the nostrils. Allow the lungs to expand and the belly to rise. Breathing out of the mouth with pursed lips, like you're blowing out of a straw, until all of your air empties completely out of the lungs, feeling a tone at the belly at the end of that exhalation. Again, receiving the breath through the nostrils, expanding the lungs and the rib cage. And exhaling out of the mouth through pursed lips, blowing lightly the air out until all of the air empties completely out of your lungs, your throat, your mouth. Making space for the next inhale. Emptying out of the mouth as you exhale. Continuing to breathe in this way for several more breaths. We're getting that pump, that respiratory diaphragm to move with some assistance with the help of our conscious effort. You might start to notice some sounds of digestion as you're breathing this way. That's a good sign. And we'll take 2 more diaphragmatic breaths like this at your own pace. Excellent. And then go ahead and open your eyes now. And so from here, we're going to roll to one side and we'll make our way up into a seated position for some work with the shoulders. So find a comfortable seat. If this is not comfortable for you, then you can grab a chair and sit on a chair. And so from here, I'd like for you to take your hands together, rub them together just to create some warmth, a little bit of friction, a little bit of heat. And then we're going to place our hands just right around the sides of the neck and very gently massage the neck. Very gently. So I'm using the heels of my hands and my fingers to just give a gentle massage through the back and the sides of the neck. And then I'm just going to run my fingers to the tops of the shoulders and just do kind of a very easy massaging action through the tops of the shoulders. You can also use your thumbs if that feels better, but I like to use the hands because I'm not going super deep here. Okay, good. So the purpose is to affect the lymphatic system. We're not really trying to get into the depth of the muscles, so it's more superficial towards the closer to the skin rather than the muscles. That's why we're not going deep. Then take your tips of your fingers to your shoulders here and bring your elbows about shoulder height to start, and then just start to make circles in the air with your elbows. So circular motion. And as we're doing these exercises today, I might encourage you here and there to remember to breathe diaphragmatically. So you don't have to breathe out of your mouth like we did at the beginning, but if it's helpful, you certainly can. Breathing in through the nose to fill up the lungs, breathing out of the mouth to empty the lungs. Let's reverse the direction of those circles. Good. Then release the arms down. Now from here, I'd like for you to reach your arms straight up. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, bend your elbows, take your fingertips to just right behind your shoulder blades and sweep your fingers out Again, reach the arms up, inhale, take your fingertips to your backs of your shoulders and sweep out. So we'll do that 3 more times. Inhale up, bend the elbows, exhale, sweep out. Good, and then just shake your arms, shake your hands, shake your fingers. Good, so from here we're going to come into a tabletop position to move the spine in cat and cow. So feeling free to pad your knees. Coming into tabletop. Knees underneath the hips, hands beneath the shoulders. Hands are a little wider than your shoulders. And as you inhale, you start to lift the tailbone, put more curve in your low back. Lift your chest, lift your chin. And then on your exhale, start to round your back. Lengthening the tailbone down, slowly undulating the spine to round. Lastly, letting the head come in towards the chest. And then again, inhale, slowly lift the tailbone, arch your low back, lift your chest, lift your chin. Exhale, round your back, slowly starting from the tailbone all the way up to the head. Inhale, cow pose. Lift the tail, lift the chest, lift the chin. Exhale, cat pose, round the back. Head moves last. Twice more. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Good. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Step your left foot forward. And we'll come all the way up to standing in mountain pose. And working with some neck exercises in standing. So imagine that your nose is just like on a pane of glass here, and you're keeping your nose on that little circle, little imaginary circle on the pane of glass. And you'll take a breath in, and on your exhalation, tilt your right ear towards your right shoulder very gently. Inhale, tilt your head back to center. Exhale, tilt your head to the left, keeping your nose fixed on that imaginary point. Inhaling to center. Exhaling other side. Inhaling to center. Exhaling over other side. And 3 more times in each direction. Moving with your breath. Little spring cleaning for our internal body, your lymphatic system. It doesn't have to be spring to do this though. Okay, we've done both sides equally. Beautiful. Let's do some heel lifts next. So start to get the pump of our calves, which are like kind of like a second heart, if you will, to pump blood back up to the heart. So we're using this circulatory system to help to assist that lymphatic system to work correctly. We'll bring the hands together at the heart center and feet about hip distance apart. The toes more or less are pointing forward here. And so on your inhale, I'd like for you to lift your heels about 1 inch or 2. And on your exhale, lower your heels right back down to the floor. Inhale to lift the heels. Exhale to lower the heels. Inhale, lift. Try to keep your toes down if you can. It helps with balance. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Good. Keep the heels down. Release the hands. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up to a Y shape. Exhale, reach the arms back down and hands come back to the heart space. Let's do that again. Inhale, reach the arms out and up into that Y shape. Exhale, hands to the heart. Let's add in a head movement here, head and neck movement. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up, look up. So your chin lifts. Exhale, sweep the arms back down, hands to heart, look down. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up, look up. Exhale, chin down, hands to heart. So we're just getting the head and the neck to move. Getting some good flow into the head and the neck. These movements are gentle. I would say less is more. So backing off, maybe 30% from what you would typically move through your range of motion. Back off just a little bit. Okay, now adding in your heel lifts again. So lift your heels as you reach your arms, as you lift your chin. And lowering your heels as you take your hands to your heart and lowering your chin. Good. Inhale, lift the heels, lift the chin, lift the hands. Exhale, lower, hands to heart, heels to floor. 3 more times. Inhale, reach, lift. Exhale, lower, center. Inhale, reach, lift. Exhale, heels anchor, hands to heart. Last time. And heels lower, hands to heart. Beautiful. So from here, take your arms down next to your sides. We're going to add in some rotations through the torso. Here's some twisting. It's okay if you have twisting that happens in the knees and the hips. Just stay really anchored through your feet. And so we'll just start to rotate our upper body to the right and to the left, and letting your arms rotate with you and slap your sides, if you will. Let your head go with the rotation of the spine. And just find a speed that works for you. Let your eyes turn with you as you do this. Let's do a few more, and I want you to just really feel the momentum of this movement start to slow down. So that you can come back to center. Good. Just notice the feeling, the vibratory feeling of your body, a sense of revitalization in your body already. You might feel like tingling, you might feel lighter. Okay, let's do a crescent pose. So if you have high blood pressure, when your arms are overhead and you're clasping your wrist to do the side bend over to the right, if that cuts off circulation here, you can just lift the left arm up and reach the right fingertips down alongside the leg as you do this. Okay, so here we go. We'll sweep the arms up, grab hold of the left wrist and lean over towards the right, or you can keep that left hand down, and then we'll switch sides. So we'll inhale back up and exhale other side. If it feels better to hold the wrist, you can do it that way. We're just moving with the breath, inhaling up, exhaling, switching sides. Inhaling up, exhale, switching sides. So just getting into the side body. Moving with the breath. We're just balancing the two sides here. Coming back to upright, releasing the arms down. Okay, so the next thing that we're doing is working with hip flexion, so an active hip flexion. If this is hard for you to do, you can sit on the chair and do this, and you would just bring your hands to your same side knee as you lift, but I'm going to do it standing. So it looks like this. So we're just going to lift and tap the knee. So really working with the hip flexion here, flexion and extension, to get some circulation through the groin area. So if you're sitting, you would just be lifting your knee to your hand. And then we're going to add in some rotation. Rotations are so important for the health of the lymphatic system. So you just bring your opposite hand to your knee, and you can do this if you're sitting. So we've got the hip flexion and the rotation going on. If you're sitting, it'll look more like rotation through the upper torso. Just do a few more. Probably feel a little fatigue through the hip flexors. Okay, good. So then we'll do a few more standing poses, just a couple. So we'll take the feet out wide, turn the heels in, the toes out for sumo squat. And from here, I'd like for you to take your hands together in namaste or prayer position, just to help you to be centered and grounded here. Taking a breath in and sitting the hips back into a little squat, like you're sitting back into a chair. And as you exhale, press through the feet to rise back up. And inhale, sit the hips back. So working with hip flexion in a different way. Exhale up. Inhale, sit those hips back. Exhale up. Inhale, hips back. Exhale up. Inhale, hips back. Exhale up. And do a few more. Last time. Good, now take your feet out a little bit wider here so your toes are pointing forward. We'll take the right heel out and the left toes out. Go ahead and bend that left knee. Take the hands together at the heart center for warrior two. Equally root through both of your feet. Lift up through the crown of your head. Go take your arms out into a T shape, looking past your left fingertips. So this is a stationary pose. We're not going to be moving like we have been with the breath. We're just holding this. Just focusing on lengthening up through the crown of the head with each inhale, grounding through the feet with each exhale. On your exhale, you can take your hands down, parallel your feet, and then turn your left heel out and your right toes out for the second side. Hands to the heart, little counter twist of your torso to the left. Crown of the head up. And go ahead and bend that right knee so the knee is over the heel. Take the arms out into a T shape. Turn your head to look past your right fingertips. We'll hold this here. Diaphragmatic breathing. Hopefully you're feeling that you're breathing with more ease now. On your exhale, take your hands back down to your hips and parallel your feet. Take your feet into hip distance apart, standing in mountain pose, your palms facing in towards the hips, the crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling. Good. So now we're going to bring our chair into play. So grab a chair, folding chair if you have one. A kitchen chair would work, just don't use a rolling chair. Okay, and I'm going to place that chair to the front of the mat so that the chair bottom is facing me. So we'll do 2 standing poses using the chair. And the first one's going to be a standing forward bend, so it's more of a restorative standing forward bend. The feet are going to be about hip distance apart or slightly wider if you're tighter in your hamstrings. So this is going to be our first inversion today, where the head is below the height of the heart. So we're just going to hinge forward from the hips here and take my hands down onto the chair bottom. And just let the head hang. The head might be resting on the chair bottom. It's okay if it doesn't. It really just depends on the height of the chair and the length of your spine. Just keeping your legs as active as you can by pressing through the 4 corners of the feet. When we are doing inversions where the head is below the heart, it's another way to get the diaphragm back online, to jump start it, if you will. You know, like when you jump start your car battery when it's not working right. And this is happening physiologically because the weight of your abdominal organs is pushing onto your diaphragm, getting that diaphragm to come back into that exhale phase. So you can exhale, exhale, exhale. And the better we get at exhaling, the better we're going to feel. Getting that pump to work. So if you have tight hamstrings, you're probably feeling that right now. And my body's telling me it's time to move on. Well, all poses have an expiration, just like the milk, you know. But expiration might only be about 30 seconds on the yoga pose for some of them. Okay. So downward facing dog pose using the chair. So I'm going to wrap my thumbs around the top of the chair seat, and my fingers are going to wrap around the underneath. And notice how my hands are on the sides of the chair bottom here. And then from there, I'm going to keep my elbows straight and my arms strong as I walk my feet back into a downward dog. So this is a modified downward dog. It is an inversion. And I'm just going to walk my feet back as far as I can to keep my arms straight, to push into the chair to get my hips back. And it's real important that the chair is on the mat. If it's on the floor, you're going to be pushing the chair off of the mat, and we don't want that. Also, if you don't have enough weight in your feet and you have most of your weight in your chair will likely slip forward. So try to put as much weight back into your feet and your legs, okay? Now with that said, externally rotate your upper arm bones so you bring your inner elbows towards each other. And just focus on lengthening the crown of the head away from the tailbone. And take some nice long deep breaths and allow your focus to be on your exhalations. Nice long complete exhalations. So here your arms will probably get tired before anything else. So always listen to that part of your body that's telling you it's too much. Expiration met. Walk the feet forward to come out. And we're going to lower down. So you can take one foot back and stagger to lower your knees down. We'll start to move into some restorative floor type poses next. So for now, we'll use the chair. It just makes it easier to transition. We're going to be doing a pose called legs up the chair instead of legs up the wall. You're more than welcome to put your legs up a wall if you would prefer, but I'm not going to teach that. So I do like to have a blanket for under my head. And I'm just going to scoot my bum as close as I can get it to the chair. And just set my feet up on the chair. And if you have chair back like this so you can slide your feet through the opening of the chair, go ahead and do that so that as much of your calves as is possible can rest on the chair bottom. And then just make any little adjustments so your body feels pretty level and even onto the floor, onto the chair. Let your hands rest wherever they feel most comfortable, either on the belly or on the floor. And close your eyes. Beginning to come back into the rhythm of your breath, thinking of the breath being like ocean waves, ebbing in and flowing out in a rhythmic manner. Remembering exhaling is so important. It's more important than the inhalations when we're working with the diaphragm and the lymphatic system. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Let it all out. Allow yourself to settle into quietude, into a state of stillness in the body where you can be fidget free. If you notice that there's parts of your body that are still moving, it might be your fingertips or your toes, it might be your eyes. Just notice it and see if you can bring more of a state of calm and ease and quiet and stillness to those places that still want to have movement. Might be from that extra cup of coffee you had earlier. You might also notice that there's a part of your body where there's tension, where maybe you're holding tension in a muscle or area of a joint, or where you've had an injury. You might be kind of clamping down or tensing that area, and just inviting that place to relax, to be heavier and more settled. Okay, so to transition out of this shape here, go ahead and bring your knees in towards your chest. Push the chair with your feet, maybe at the chair bottom or the legs or a combo of both, off of your mat, all the way off of the mat so that you can't reach it anymore with your feet. I do want you to have a block. Actually, let's have both blocks close by. And scoot back just a little bit so you can have the full real estate of your mat for your legs. And then from here, we're going to bring the right knee in towards the chest and lengthen the left leg long to the floor. Hold on to your right knee shin area or your right thigh, whichever feels more comfortable on the knee. And so we're just going to do a little bit more lymphatic work, and then we'll do some restoratives. So on your inhalation, I want you to press your right thigh into your hand, and on your exhalation, I want you to pull your thigh in towards your abdomen. So just doing like a little bit of push and pull. So inhale, push your thigh into your hand. Exhale, pull your thigh towards your abdomen. So we'll just do that a few more times. And remember what I said earlier about backing off about 30% from maybe what your range of motion is, or your effort of what you would generally try to do. Because most of us will try to give 100%. So feel free to back off a little bit with this, because less is definitely more. We don't want to be aggressive with this type of work. Less is more. That's something, right? Something to think about. Now go ahead and release your right leg, and just take a moment to maybe notice what you feel through the right hip and the left hip. Probably feel some warmth through the right hip flexor area, some blood flow. So keep in mind that when we're working our circulatory system, that it helps to assist the pump of your lymphatic system. Okay, so you're going to grab the back of the left thigh or the knee or the shin, whatever feels more comfortable for you. And on the inhale, press the thigh into your hands. You might notice your arms straighten as you do that. And on the exhale, you can gently pull the thigh in towards your abdomen. Gentle movement. I'm not being aggressive in any way. When I think about the word gentle, especially as it relates with yoga, I like to think of the quality and the attitude that I would approach a small child, preferably your own, or your puppy or your dog or something like that, right? Like, how would you approach them with a gentle quality, a loving kindness? And I like to bring that into the whole practice. So there's a lot of deprogramming that has to happen with physical movement when we are talking about gentle yoga, because we tend to want to push really hard when we're working out. And I don't think of gentle yoga as a workout necessarily. I think of it more as a work in. So we're really learning how to go inside and learn more about ourselves and do the work of healing ourselves from all of that programming, right? So we're done with that, and then we're going to bring the right knee back in towards the chest, and I'd like for you to flex and extend at your ankle. On the right side, flex and extend. So we're getting that second pump of the heart through the soleus, the calf muscle, to help to pump any flow from the feet, maybe any swelling from the feet and the ankles back to the heart. So my daughter doesn't watch my videos, so I'll talk a little bit about her as an example. Go ahead and circle your ankles about 5 or 6 times now in each direction. She gets swelling in her ankles when she travels, and the first time it happened was in 8th grade when she did this East Coast trip, and I didn't go with her. Let's go ahead and switch other leg. I didn't go with her for the trip, but she took a picture of her ankles and they were very swollen. So flex and extend that left ankle. And so I knew what was happening. I knew she had some lymph buildup in her ankles. And she's, bless her heart, she's 14 years old at the time. And so I told her to lay in her hotel room, put her feet up on the bed, her legs up the wall. And she thought I was kind of kooky, but she did it and it worked. So the swelling went away. Okay, so circle your ankles a few times in each direction. A 14-year-old never wants to hear what their mom has to say, but she was genuinely worried. Okay, so after circling both of those ankles in both directions, you can go ahead and lower that down there. And we'll bend both of the knees and take the soles of the feet together. I'm going to actually have my blocks here now to wedge underneath the outer hips for a reclined bound angle. Bring the soles of the feet together, the knees apart, and place the blocks to support the outer hips here. Just make any adjustments through the rest of the body so that the rest of the body feels level and even. Close your eyes. And so we're going to settle here into this restorative yoga posture. And again, finding a position in this shape where you can settle and be fidget free. I like to visualize like an hourglass with sand. And when I'm in a yoga pose, I can visualize I just turned the hourglass over so that the top part is full of sand. And it's slowly funneling through to the bottom section. And as I'm visualizing the sands of time, taking time to funnel through to the lower half, I'm visualizing the sand and dust of tension in my body dissolving from the top of my body all the way down. You might visualize that from your head down through your feet. You might visualize that from the top layer of your body, that front section of your body, moving down through the layers to the back section of your body, breath by breath, little by little, melting away tension as your dust settles. Take a couple of more breaths in and out here. Good. You can open your eyes. Use your hands to help to close your knees so that your feet are back onto the floor here, knees bent. So we're going to do one more restorative yoga posture. It's kind of an active restorative posture. You will not need the blanket under your head, so you can move that. You will need one yoga block. So we'll go into a supported bridge by lifting the hips, sliding the block on its first or second height setting, not the tallest setting. The tallest setting would be the third height setting. So right underneath the sacrum. So here, this is already an inversion. It's a supported inversion with the heart above the head. And so this might be the extent of your pose. Just letting the palms face up and the arms move out from the body. If you want it to be more of an active restorative, where we're focusing on draining lymph from the feet all the way back to the heart, then you can take your feet together and your knees together and straighten your legs so that your legs are straight up in this supported candle pose. And just try to keep the center of your sacrum rooted into your block. numbness in your feet, or you just feel like you need to lower your feet, go ahead and do that. Honor yourself, honor your body, be gentle. And then those of you that still have your legs lifted, you can bend your knees, lower the feet. Press through the feet to lift the hips, slide the block out, and slowly unravel your spine back down to the mat. Take the arms out into a T once the hips are back to the floor, and separate your feet about as wide as your yoga mat, with the knees still bent for windshield wipers. We'll take a breath in. On the exhale, move the knees to the right. The head rolls to the left. Inhale, head and knees move back to center. Exhale, knees to the left, head to the right. And back and forth at your own pace here, however slow or however fast your breath is flowing. And finishing with knees off to the left, head over to the right, and then back to center. So let's set ourselves up for our final relaxation. So you can grab a bolster if you'd like to place beneath your knees. And I also like to have blocks underneath the heels. It just feels better. Or maybe a folded blanket. Feels better for my back. And you can either use a blanket under your head, or you can cover yourself, or maybe if you have an extra blanket, you can cover yourself and pad your head. So just make sure that you're nice and comfortable so you can deeply relax here. And I'm going to do one of my favorite tense and relaxation guidances that I learned from my Shivananda teacher training back in 2002. Yeah, 2002. I couldn't remember what year that was, about 18 years ago. It's a really great way to learn how to relax in Shavasana. Well, the idea is that if we know what it's like to feel a tense muscle, then we'll know what it's like to relax it. So go ahead and settle for now into that Shavasana shape that you created. Close your eyes. And you might just start to tune back into your breath. Good. And so from here, I'd like for you to tighten your right foot, scrunch up your toes. Tense that right foot, tense, tense, and then relax the right foot. And then tense up the muscles of your left foot, curl your toes in, scrunch your foot, tense it, and then relax the left foot. And then go ahead and tighten the muscles of your right leg, your calf, your quadricep, your hamstrings. Tense it. You might even lift the leg and tense it. Tense the whole right leg. And then relax the right leg. Lower the right leg back down to the cushion, the heel to the block. And then tense the muscles of the left leg, the left calf, the quad, hamstring. Lift the left leg, tensing the whole left leg, tensing, and release the left leg down. Now tensing the muscles of the pelvis, squeezing your gluteal muscles, tensing your pelvic floor, tensing your low belly, tensing, and then release, relaxing the hip muscles. And then tensing the muscles of your rib cage, your back, kind of like you would if you were just finishing up a cough. You might even exhale to tense the muscles of the torso, tensing, and then relax the torso. And then shrugging your shoulders up towards your ears, create some tension around the shoulders and the neck, tensing, and then shrug your shoulders away from your ears, away from your ears, and then relax the shoulders in a neutral position. Now lift the right arm off of the floor, make a tight fist with your right hand, tense the fist, tense the fingers, tense the arm, tensing all the way up to the shoulder, tensing, and then lower the right arm to the floor. Relax the right arm, the hand, the fingers. And then lifting the left arm off of the floor, make a tight fist, tense your fingers, tense your fist, tensing the forearm all the way up to the shoulder, tensing, and then relax, lowering the left arm to the floor. Good, and now tensing the muscles of your face, drawing all of the muscles of your face in towards your nose, tensing the forehead, tensing the eyebrows, the eyes, the cheeks, the nose, the mouth, tensing. Take a breath in. As you exhale, stick your tongue out, open your eyes, and make a big sigh sound. Close your eyes, close your mouth. So now that we know what it feels like to have tension in the body, consciously bringing tension to the body can now feel what it's like to relax. The body relax. I'll guide you through auto-suggestion, relaxing the body, allowing the breath to be rhythmic and smooth, bringing awareness to your feet. I relax my feet. My feet are relaxing. My feet are relaxed. I relax my calves, my shins. My calves and shins are relaxing. My calves and shins are relaxed. And I relax my knees. My knees are relaxing. My knees are relaxed. And I relax my upper legs. My upper legs are relaxing. My upper legs are relaxed. And I relax my hips. My hips are relaxing. My hips are relaxed. And I relax my belly. My belly is relaxing. My belly is relaxed. lower back. My whole back is relaxing. My whole back is relaxed. And I relax my shoulders. My shoulders are relaxing. My shoulders are relaxed. And I relax my arms, hands and fingers. My arms, hands and fingers are relaxing. My arms, hands and fingers are relaxed. And I relax my neck and throat. My neck and throat are relaxing. My neck and throat are relaxed. I relax my head and scalp. My head and scalp are relaxing. My head and scalp are relaxed. I relax my face. The muscles of my face are relaxing. My face is relaxed. And I relax my mind. My mind is relaxing. My mind is relaxed. My entire body is completely relaxed. Now slowly and gently bring your awareness back to your body. You can begin by wiggling your fingertips and your toes. loosen towards the chest, giving yourself a hug by bringing your knees to chest with your hands. It might feel good to stay here or rocking right and left, side to side, a few times just to get a little massage on your back. And then you can roll to one side and push with your strong hands and arms to come up to a seat, maybe grabbing your bolster or your blanket to sit on too. And once you're seated, bringing your hands together in Anjali Mudra, your thumbs to your sternum. And just take a moment to check in with how you're feeling. Feel the state and the quality of your mind, the state and the quality of the breath, the state and the quality of the body. Hope that you are feeling, pristine, that you're feeling clear, that you're feeling rejuvenated. So I thank you for joining me today for this practice. I hope you'll join me again. Namaste.